Hi, so I'm not sure if you can hear me. Unfortunately, today's class is cancelled because this very strange preparing for where the Board of Examiners meeting tomorrow, and so a few things that we need to work on between now and tomorrow, unfortunately. But I thought I was going to send out an email, but I thought I would spend just a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, to find out if people might have questions related to the batch of assignments that are currently available on the Moodle. Seeing as we are done with the, I guess, the design part of the course, though granted it was a bit superficial here, but we're done with that. And what that means is that we're in a position to churn out the final copy of the SRS document. So I just wanted to find out if people have any specific questions related to that. If not, then I'll quickly exit. Any questions? I don't think that there's a group, at least the best of my knowledge, there's a group that has gotten to a stage where they've listed requirements yet. And I'm saying I don't think so because I know that the vast majority of you were meant to interact with people such as myself and the likes of Piela, for instance. You were also supposed to reach out to me so that I could help advertise, or so that I could help share whatever links you might have, links associated with it, question to prepare. But I haven't seen anything to that effect. So I'm not sure what that means, but the impression I got was that perhaps people were stuck or something. Is that the case, or?
Good evening.
Or is that not the case?
Sir, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. The truth of the matter is that, yes, we have challenges with the SRS document. I believe most of the groups haven't yet finished the SRS document 100%, or maybe to the level of expectations. So maybe we still need to have that interaction where you maybe guide us on particular chapters of the SRS document. Yes, I believe. Okay, most of the things maybe might be.
No, but wait a minute, Lewis.
Sorry.
Yes, most of the things.
Okay.
No, please continue. I'll talk after
Yes.
that.
Yes. I'll give a practical example. On the SRS document, say chapter 2. Most of the information that we can write most of the information, but without your guidance, I think it'd be very difficult, and most of the things that we'll write will be maybe of no maybe use. So maybe if there can be more interaction, I think if there can be more interaction where we find out more before we write anything. Yeah, I think there are so many documents, let's say online, that maybe might guide us, but we are not sure if they are able to guide us to your expectations. Yes, we know we can copy and paste, but at the end of the day, maybe we might write something that is not relevant. So maybe through your guidance, yes, we can do a good job. Yes.
But this guidance was done many sessions ago. There were sessions that were dedicated to us going through the different. They're not chapters; those are sections, by the way. A document is segmented into sections. So this section 2 you're talking about, I mean, this is the overall description of the system, which I thought that's probably one of the easiest sections to look at, right? I'm looking at 2.1 is product perspective, 2.2 is product features, 2.3 is user classes and characteristics, 2.4 is operating environment, 2.5 is the design and implementation constraints, right? This is like non-functional requirements. 2.6 is the user documentation. 2.7 is optional assumptions or dependencies associated with the system, and that's it. Which part of section 2 is a bit hazy or is unclear? We do not go through this.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that that guidance. Yes. I'll just give you an example. But okay, for me personally, the challenge that I had was looking at the system features. Yes, because I know maybe I couldn't outline all the system features. Yes. Where maybe I don't really know.
Yeah, but you cannot. This is the thing here. You will not be able to outline in the system features if you do not elicit requirements.
Okay.
This thing, if you look at the deadline of the assignments, right? The deadline of the assignments are such that the elicitation, I'm forcing you to do the elicitation. The deadline for the elicitation process, the data collection, is Friday. This
16th.
Friday. The only way you'll be able to identify a comprehensive set of those system features is only when you elicit the requirements. Because you don't know how the system is supposed to work right now. You don't know. You don't know because you have not interacted with your potential clients, right? The customers of the system.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the system features you're talking about, you only be able to come up with a comprehensive list of features, a set of features, once you elicit the requirements.
Okay.
But here's how I think this will work. Can I ask that, so this is an important issue you're raising, right? I'm glad you raised it. Can I then ask that you wrote down as respect groups, identify areas that are not very clear so that we discuss them the next time we meet, which is the after, it's Thursday. So that we discuss them on Thursday before we transition to lecture series number 10, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you are with either any of the sections, I don't know if it's section 2 or section 3, we must talk about this, right? But I thought this was pretty much intuitive, really, especially that we went through all of these sections and the subsections. Can't remember the specific lecture, but we did. I hope it was recorded. I hope it wasn't one of those things that was botched. How does that sound? We can prepare, look at this thing, and then you will raise whatever challenges you might have when we meet on Thursday.
Good idea. Good idea.
Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are there any challenges people have? How far have you gone, Lewis, with your group with the elicitation process? Have you even started?
No, not yet, sir. Sadly, but
what are you waiting for?
We are supposed to meet either today or tomorrow, so that we start the process. Yes.
You're supposed to meet. I thought I've been talking about this for quite some time now, and this is why there wasn't supposed to be like an explicit assignment associated with elicitation technique. But I've noticed that there's literally zero progress, and which is why I just put up that assignment. Ideally, the next batch of assignments was just supposed to be associated with SRS document, right? But I don't know. I'm concerned here because I'm not sure what the holdup is. What is difficult about about coming up with an instrument that you're going to use? I mean, you've already come up with, you've identified the elicitation techniques that you're going to use, right? Whether it's going to be a questionnaire or whether you're going to have interview sessions, you've already done that because there was an assignment that was dedicated to that. If you've gone through that process, then what's stopping you from coming up with the instrument you're going to use?
Yes, sir.
And then
yes,
launching
sir.
that instrument.
We came up with the instrument, and then we also made a design of a questionnaire. It's there. So I believe maybe the only thing that we should do for now is basically that interaction. I think it will help us to further our project for now. Yes.
Yeah, but the interaction you're talking about is, you seem to have suggested before now that the interaction would be more concerned with the SRS document, right? So this conversation centered around the SRS document is completely different from what we're talking about right now. We're discussing the elicitation process. Granted, the output of your elicitation process is supposed to feed into the SRS document, right? But But those are two things here. You want an interaction to discuss the elicitation process?
No, sir, it's the SRS document.
Okay, so then what have you been up to then if you haven't launched your instrument until now? I mean, if you look at the assignments, I just shared my screen here, but if you look at the assignments that put up, you notice that the assignment associated with the elicitation process was last month, right? It was set up more than a month ago, right? Identification of elicitation techniques, and the idea was to try and force you to start thinking about how you are going to do this, right? The expectation was that after you identified the elicitation techniques, you're supposed to draw up the measurement instrument, right? So it could be maybe the interview guide, if you approach to take advantage of interviews, for instance. The questionnaire itself, if your approach is to use the questionnaire for you to edit, and I'm wondering what you've been up to if today is October 12th and that was September 4th or something. Okay, you want to really seriously think about this, right? Because you won't be able to, the thing is, these things, the system features you're talking about, these things, you won't be able to identify which specific features you're supposed to associate with your system if you don't elicit the requirements. You're supposed to elicit the requirements. And this is why, if you remember, in this assignment here, the initial version 1.0 of the SRS document, it was clearly outlined that there were certain sections of the SRS document which we expected to fill out, because you hadn't, at this stage, you hadn't yet listed the requirements, right? So I don't know.
Sir, maybe the other.
All right.
Yes,
any other
the other concern is
yes.
Maybe can you maybe take time to, let's say, go through the instruments that different groups came up with, so that maybe you check out maybe the type of, let's say, questions that are supposed to ask the stakeholders. Maybe that guidance might let's say help us.
No, that's part of the that's assignment.
Oh, okay.
No, that's part of the assignment.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're going to be graded on.
Oh, okay.
We had a thorough about this. I don't know if you remember guidelines on what you were meant to look out for in terms of and if I can find that lecture series. I have no idea which lecture series that was, but if you remember, there we go. If you remember, and we spent a great deal of time on like interviews and questionnaires. We knew that all of the groups were going to use either questionnaires or interviews or a combination if you felt like being adventurous or something. But if I can get back to, there we go. We had these guidelines here, right? Very clearly laid out guidelines, and these were just guides, by the way. We spent a great deal of time discussing these things. I even went so far as to provide specific examples of some things that we have done, right, and how those things were done. So you want to do this, right, because it turns out that there's a portion of the course where you're supposed to write code, and we know, I mean, what you're doing is very trivial, so it'll take more than 2 weeks, actually, to be honest. If I can do it in a week, actually, right? So you better do this quickly, so that very, very soon, and our hope is that maybe in the week of the 26th, or even before then, you can actually start writing code right now. You start implementing, right? So that by the time we get to maybe second week of November, we can or something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of these things we're probably going to remove them or something, because our discussion of things like experimental computer science, the evaluation part, perhaps testing will be done way towards the end. So possibly be able to do this in the presentation of the final report, which is just fine, right? Are there any other concerns that people have? Gray areas or something, stuff that's been confusing?
Yes, okay. Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Like I also had some concerns or some questions that I really wanted to find out from you already. As in, so like I have two things that I want to like just get straight. Like the first thing is like you said we need to like gather the requirements, and then all right, that's okay. And then my question is, do we need to write an email again? Because like for some people maybe they sent you an email already and then stuff like that. I don't know really if you have to write again an email to request for your free time or something. I don't know. And then the other thing is
Which
the email to
which
ask for
email?
free
Which
time
email
so
are you
that we
talking
can
about?
interview you to get the requirements from you and then get some other information.
I've personally not gotten any email about that. I mean, unless if I missed that email.
All right, okay.
When you're writing to someone formally to request for their time so that you interview them, for instance, you do a couple of things here. Key amongst the things that you do is you schedule a slot, an agreed upon slot, where both parties are available, right? So if you're interested in interviewing Lighton, you will formally write to Lighton explaining why you want to interview Lighton, right? We are conducting this project, yada, yada, yada. Could you kindly tell us when you might be free? You also clearly outline exactly how that interview session is going to be done. Now, looking at what's happening right now, you're not collocated, right? So you explicitly tell whoever you're going to be interviewing to say, we plan to conduct this interview using maybe Skype or using Google Meet or something. Could you tell us when you might be available for this? We anticipate or we expect that the interview session will take no more than 10 minutes of your time. And at this stage, you probably would have the interview, right? To ascertain exactly how long it's going to take. And we discussed these things. I mean, I'm sure there was a discussion of piloting here. There we go. Plan to pilot the interview guide, right?
All right, sir. So the other thing is I was just too
Does that
concerned
answer
about the time. Look,
does that answer your question?
yes, I think I know what to do. Okay, so the other thing is looking at time and the coding part, and then the other part of the document is going to be not going to be done really, because you see, yes, you just from just saying that probably maybe the report won't be done and some other things that are going to like get us a lot of time. So I was thinking, and I don't.
It will be
Okay.
done. It has to be done. The report will be
All
done.
right. Okay. So even, but the question is looking at time and then the time to code and everything. I don't know really. I'm just confused about the softwares. Probably maybe the people that are working on software that are going to be dealing with databases and stuff. Are they going to be creating the database on their own, or maybe there's just a database where they can just use probably maybe the Moodle database or something? I don't know. And again, is it that when you're creating the
No, you create you will create. You are supposed to create the database. You have been taught how to do that in 3010. So you can create the database. You're supposed to create that database. And how you create the database is part of your requirement registration process, right? Once you gather those requirements, then you figure out how to create the database. Have you not been taught how to design a database, how to create a MySQL database?
yeah, they have taught us how to do that.
Using, I don't know if you're using PHP MyAdmin or something.
Yes, but that I don't know. This software is it going to be template, or maybe it's going to like just stay there for people to use, or it's just going to be a test and forget about it? I don't know, because the database has to like sit somewhere where it's going to be accessed.
No, Yeah, but there are ways of doing this. I mean, there are cloud-based solutions that offer free tiers, right? Heroku, I think GCP does that as well. GitHub pages of those for static sites. So if you are wanting to immortalize whatever it is you're going to do, it's very easy, right? All you have to do is just deploy it onto some existing cloud-based infrastructure, right? Like I've used Heroku extensively in the past. And in fact, part of what I'm going to talk about is it next, then in the next lecture series is once we start our discussion of configuration management or software configuration management, is this notion of taking advantage of educational tiers, right? So similar to Lucidchart, GitHub, for instance, offers accounts that are specifically dedicated to educational institutions. And what you have access to, what they call packs, right? I don't know if it's power packs or something. Part of gives you access to is cloud, whatever artifacts you're going to come up with. But ideally, because of time, as you rightly put it, and also because what in the course, we're interested in the course is not how you go about. We're not really so concerned about the quality of the artifact that you're going to produce. We're interested in the end-to-end process to make sure that you understand what needs to be done when you're developing software, right? And so one way of thinking about these software artifacts you're going to produce is that there are prototypes, right? They're not going to be, for intended purposes, likely not going to be production quality you can use. I don't think so. Maybe, but the vast majority of them are probably not going to be that. I mean, I expect there to be maybe a couple of projects that will probably work on something tangible, right? Will produce something really tangible, something that you can actually even showcase out there, right? But for the most part, I mean, it's okay if we cut them out as prototypes, right? Because we are interested in the end process of developing software, right? We're studying the software development life cycle here. We're not studying how to write code. We're not concerned with the argument to bring up, say, oh, should we use PostgreSQL or is it SQL, for instance, or are we going to use MySQL? We don't care, right? Should we use Java in a certain way? Should we use an OOP approach? We don't care, right? We're just interested in the software development life cycle. This is our focus here, and which is why if you look at the marks allocated to the implementation part, it's just a small chunk of the overall cost total. And the reason we're doing that is we know that implementation is part of the SDL process, right? SDLC process. And so we want to make sure that we incorporate it into what we are doing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I get it. It's going to be, I think it's not really that type of software. It's going to be more like prototypes, maybe where people can add their own code some years later or something.
You remember what a prototype is?
Yes.
You remember our discussion? What is a prototype?
It's more like the type of a software which is not really the final product of a software or something.
Yeah, it's another way of looking at it. It's a proof of concept. It's an incomplete version of whatever software program you want to develop. It's just a proof. You typically just showcase the key features of the software, right? It's just a proof of, you're trying to demonstrate the feasibility of doing something. Now, one way of looking at the prototype we're developing is because it turns out the different types of prototypes, and we discussed these things, right? I think it was, I don't know which lecture series here, but we discussed things like paper prototypes. We're not talking about a paper prototype here, talking about something else here, but all right. So it's more like a feasibility prototype anyway. Any other concerns that people might have? I guess it's just turns out it's just going to be a complete lecture about the query session.
Sorry, sir.
Which is fine.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I might seem to be out of topic, but it's in connection with the
Yes, sir. Hi.
recordings. I tried to access the recordings on Moodle, but they are not available. Like the one which is there, it's not
Mhm.
it's not showing. Like we try to play it, but it's not playing.
Okay, I'll work on that. I will work on that. Not a problem. I'll look into that and then just make sure that they're available. I know that the session we had on Saturday hasn't yet been uploaded, but it will be uploaded. So I'm guessing you're making reference to the one that's not waiting. That's not the one you're unable to play. Probably the Friday one. I'll look into that. I'm sure it's just a switch on YouTube. I'm sure I didn't change it to. I didn't tell YouTube to turn it into an unlisted video. I'm sure it's still tagged as private or something. So I'll check that.
All right.
Any other concerns about the assignment?
Yeah. You said the deadline. I mean, the due date is Friday. Now, if we like we send you the mail, then you have to engage the students. So is the period enough for the students to give us the feedback within the 4 days which are remaining?
Well, so the assumption I had was that you had already started this process, and so this was just to force you to finalize whatever it is you're doing. But if the vast majority of you have not yet done this, we can extend this so that the due date for the SRS document and the registration are both going to be Friday next week. That's not a problem. If I get the point, or I get the impression that the vast majority of you have not yet done this. So if that's the case, then we'll change the deadline from the 16th to the 23rd.
All right.
Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
Are there any other concerns that people might have? All right. If there are no concerns, then I'll see you on Thursday then. If we can dedicate the first 10, maybe 15 minutes to addressing whatever questions your respective groups might have in regard to the SRS document, seeing as I'm guessing you're going to do a little bit of additional thinking about this thing, looking at the pending assignments that are on the Moodle. So please compile whatever questions you might have, and then we'll have a discussion about this on Thursday. And then on Thursday, we start looking at configuration management. Hopefully, we should be able to wrap up configuration management by Saturday, and that is the goal, right? So we do configuration management on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All right, I will see you on Thursday then. Sorry, I had to cut this thing short. Sorry, you're a bit muffled here. What did you say?
Any latest in connection with the test results?
No latest. I do apologize, but that it hasn't been marked yet. I'll attempt to mark it as soon as I can. Yeah.
So mid-October.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good night. Bye. Not mid-October, but before the end of October, definitely. Thanks.